Holy shit. That was nuts. Hang on just a second. Alright. Now for the fun part. So we're going to be replacing the screen on this Nomad. It's burnt to crap. You can see it. Here's what a somewhat normal Nomad screen should look like. Although this one's got an aftermarket, but you get the point. So we're going to recap, put all new capacitors, add a new LCD screen. It's been a while, so I'm going to have to refresh my memory on how to do these and look it up on my phone probably. And then glass lids. These are always a pain in the ass to get put on because they are super tight usually. But let's get this stuff on. Start ripping her open. So you've got gain bit screw down here. And then the rest of them are just regular Phillips screws all the way around. I've already opened this one and pulled sorry, my monitor is on the other side of the room, so I have to turn my head and see. But I've already opened this up and taken the ribbon out, so this is a lot easier in the daytime because it was a lot brighter in here. The music and everything sound okay? I had to adjust all my levels after it crashed on me. Let's get all these screws out. 2, 3, and 4. Where is this other one? There we go. So you've actually got 2 boards in this thing. Yeah, Amber told me I needed to wear a hat, but I'm being lazy. So we're going to be replacing all of these little capacitors. Luckily none of these have leaked, so everything should be pretty straightforward. Also, while I'm over here, let's go ahead and do the modification to this screen so we can use 5 volts and use a lot less power when it's trying to use this, which this is an easy one. Basically all we got to do is take out this diode here. Say it's easy and now it wants to be a turd. Okay, now this is going to be a pain. I thought these were a little bit different. I don't remember this being there, at least on the last one. that, and I'm using, this is lead-free solder, so it's kind of a pain to remove. This is going to be a pain. Alright. This was supposed to go smoothly. Much like everything else, it has been not good. No, there's heat. There's too many small components to use hot air right now. I mean, I could. But I'd rather not. I swear. Let me double check something. I want to say. I was just looking at this earlier, but I want to say it was this diode and not this, but I could be wrong. No, I was right, it is that one. I just need to change tips. Let's get the big guy. Tell Miss Tots I said hey. Let's get the big boy out. I don't like using this tip, but it should get the job done. Ah, this thing's filthy. Fresh solder on there because that has been used and abused. There we go. Now that that's gone, I can get my usual back. Yep, helps when you use the right tools for the job instead of trying to get in a hurry and use the wrong one. Ow! Fuck, that was hot. I'm gonna see how I can destroy myself tonight. So let's clean that up. The only pad we're going to need is this one, and then we're going to take it and tie it into this voltage regulator right here. So we're going to dab solder on that guy. My jumper wire. maybe too small. I do not know what happened to all my large wire. This will work. Flux. Tin this up. And then tie it down. Perfect. That'll go there. This will come around and just stick to that leg there. It has been quite a while since I've done a Nomad. Sorry, I have to like turn my head to see the dang monitor. So if I'm a little late with the reactions, you'll know why. So flux, we'll tin this and then solder it down. And there went my camera. It'll be back on. There we go. So that's tied in now. Let's get a little alcohol. 1 for me, 2 for this. Clean this mess up. Get all the flux off of there. Definitely don't want this getting into the screen itself, or you're gonna be in for a bad time. And basically what this does is converts the board from a 12 volt system to a 5 volt system. Uses a lot less draw on your batteries. So that's done. Now let's get that out of the way and pull this board out. Yes, it does reduce heat for sure. But I think the big thing with this board is, oh sorry, I'm off cam here. With this board is the power draw, because these tend to drain your batteries quite heavily if you're running off battery. Luckily the one I did has a battery pack that uses 18650s, so it's a little bit easier, or a little bit better on battery life. I want to say there was 4 of those. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's the screen. God, it has been quite a while since I've done one of these. I definitely didn't have a camera in my face. So that's 5, 6. There it is. It's hiding. Luckily, these are not known for their capacitors leaking. At least from what I've seen, I have not had one that's had capacitor issues with it. Let's get that screen out. So we're going to be taking this screen off. The fun part's going to be getting under playability time on batteries before. These didn't really have a battery pack that came with the system. So, like this one, I've got a battery pack that I bought, but they're normally, I mean, that's how, when you bought the system, that's it. There's no slots for batteries, nothing. So they had a battery pack from Sega back in the day that was it used like 6 AA batteries, but I've never got to use one, so I'm not real sure what the battery life was on it. I know it was not very long, because I mean, all this is a Sega Genesis turned into a portable. So put some flux on here and we'll get this screen, our old screen, off of here. Bad thing is it's a lot of teeny tiny pins, but they're not too bad to get off. And there actually is a high voltage on here for the I wanted to say they use a fluorescent bulb, so it's got like 100 to 200 volts on the fluorescent circuit that runs that. I know on the Game Gear you had that high voltage circuit as well. It's such an odd angle to work. Usually you just heat these pads up and it usually melts the solder on the underside and the ribbon comes off. I mean, some people just cut them and then do it, which might actually be a little easier, but I've always done it this way. You know what? We're not reusing this screen anyway. I'm not gonna sit here and fight with it. So we will cut it, because I mean, this screen is done anyway. That should make life a lot easier. Yep, pretty much. That thing's shot. Oh, that's why I've got the tape on there still. I was like, why is this holding me? The Game Gear does the same setup with that ribbon, where they tape it on one side to help hold it in place, but you gotta take it off before you try putting the new screen on, or else it's just gonna fight you the whole time, or you're gonna end up ripping something up. Alright, round 3. Is that you, Carl? This is his baby I'm working on, so he's in one of the local Facebook groups around here in Houston. Come on. Like there's always one that wants to stick. Oh. It was someone else I thought said type something. Oh well. I don't know, maybe I'm just losing my mind. Which is highly possible. Now, which one of you is sticking? There we go. And if I have time, I'm probably going to do a Master System mod to this, so if you're playing with an EverDrive, you can play Master System games on here. By default, they disabled it for some reason on the Nomad and a couple other systems on the newer. I want to say this runs off a Model 2 Sega Genesis hardware that they basically made portable. There it is, it's still stuck. There's one little trace that was sticking. Two traces. Come on. Get off of there. You have to be really careful because you can easily lift these traces if you pull too hard. I mean, it's not going to hurt anything because you're not using these, but I mean, it's better safe than sorry yet, for sure. Almost done. What's holding me on here? One little trace. It's you. There we go. Double check everything. No bridges. No lifted pads. Perfect. Like I've done it before. Very much so. Now I'm gonna go over it. If I can find my solder wick and clean those pads up and then hit it with a little bit of IPA. And I mean alcohol dots, not the beer. Get all this old solder off of there. Let's stick it. There we go. And just slowly and lightly drag along as it burns the crap out of your fingers because it's really hot. I usually solder at about 300 C. I think for next stream I'm gonna try and move a monitor to this side so I can actually see instead of having to look away if somebody's talking in chat. Nice and easy. That looks beautiful. know, I could use some right now. But I'm on call, so no fun for me. Getting ready to go back on night shift for another 7 days. But that won't be till probably Friday. I go back Friday night. No, I've got monitors. I don't know. It's more an issue with room on my desk. Like, it's super crowded with all my soldering stuff and everything else. Plus, I'm not the most organized on this desk. I can just kind of throw stuff everywhere when I'm working. That looks better. Mo better. Yeah, but if I use a phone, it ends up with the same delay that y'all have. Because it has probably a 5-10 second delay depending. Yep, nice and clean. No bridges. Very nice. Back this out. Now, start pulling these caps off. Get a little hot air in the tweezers. What is it sitting on? Oh, this other cap. Okay. There's two boards. You've got this board, and then there's a sister board that's on the other side of the system that is not. That one's got all your processors and all this stuff. This is mostly your video and controls. Just lift right off. Come on. This is always the nerve-wracking part. Ow. There's 3 of them. Now there's only 600,000 more to go. I always try to move around on these boards so you're not keeping the same side of the board super hot all the time. Come on. And if they want to be real stubborn, then I can get my second soldering iron and hit them from both sides, and they just come right off usually. Come on, it's liquid. There we go. That one was being turd. Jumper on the ribbon. Oh, it's the jumper is just for grounding. It's connected to the ground plane on the board. It's FCC shielding, I think, that Sega had to use. This one is being kind of a bugger too. There we go. I used to hate working with hot air. And now when it's working on these surface mount caps, and it is like night and day trying to do these versus like trying to cut the caps off and risk damaging anything. Let's move over back over here. The real fun part's trying to put them back on, as this board gets real crowded real quick. I want to say the sister board to this one, or the processor board, only has 4 or 5 caps on it, so it's not too bad, but they are in a tight spot. Come on. One side's loose. There we go. Hang on just a second. I need to grab something. Plus those tweezers are really hot. Desk is a mess. Yeah, mobile is not fun. At least for a lot of things, but it gets the job done. Hey Retro, is that you, Carl? You know, let me post in my group. Let them know I'm on. Let this board cool off a little bit anyway. Yeah, now I'm trying to find the dang link. Excuse me. I forget it. I'll just do this. Alright, back to what I was doing. Burn my fingers off some more. Oh, okay. Hey, Carl. Well, here's your baby. I'm blasting it with hot air right now. Hope you don't mind. The one thing you do have to watch out for are these little plastic parts around here. They melt quite easily. Come on. Getting soft. There we go. You have to be careful because if you get stuff really hot, you end up lifting pads. And that's why I didn't like working with hot air for so long, because when I first started, I had lifted pads left and right. Oh yeah, that screen was shot. Actually, the capacitors are probably good. I haven't really seen a Nomad so far out of the ones that I've worked on that needed capacitors replaced, or at least if any of them started leaking. But they're 35 years old, so it's better to change them and not need to versus the other way around. Yeah, wasn't even looking at it. It popped right off. Right now I'm hitting it at about 370 degrees, probably 60% speed. I don't want to hit it too hard, because if it does, one of the other components around it goes molten, like these little capacitors or resistors, then like what happened on that Game Gear, they go floating off and then you send them to Narnia. Luckily I was able to figure out where that one went, so but usually I'm doing this with my head right over it so I can see when they go molten and the stuff comes right off. But since I'm doing it with a camera over the top of it, it's kind of hard to see. This one's going to be kind of tricky with the plastic piece here, so my gun's going to be in the way for a few minutes. I definitely don't want to melt that. Like a champ. I figure I'll probably start doing some more streams like this. I used to, and then I just quit. There's some stuff I just don't want to do on stream in case I mess up, but you know what? Everyone messes up. So, funk it. It's part of the learning process. Come on. There we go. It's so hard working around stuff like that without melting anything. You can see it started to bubble a little bit, but it's not misshapen or anything, so I'm not too worried about it. 'Tis nature of the beast. Plus, you don't see, at least from what I've noticed, I don't see a lot of repair stuff like this on Twitch or streaming, or anybody really that does it other than like YouTube. But I don't like recording. Actually I don't mind recording. I hate editing, so I'd much rather do it live. And I hope y'all like my hobo hair. My wife told me to wear a hat, and I said no. Actually, I didn't say no. I didn't say anything, but come loose. Usually the ground side, the side with the little black stripe on it, all of these here, that's all connected to your ground plane. This is your positive side, and this is your negative side. And those tend to stick a little bit more because the ground plane on these is usually a little thicker on the ground side than the hot side, or the positive side. And you can feel them. You don't really want to pull on them. You just put a little pressure on them and you can feel them start to come loose. Luckily on the ground side of these, this plane holds heat a little more. Actually, I should probably move to another section of the board here after this one and let it cool off. But yeah, you just want them to release on their own. You definitely don't want to be yanking around on them, because a pad will easily come with it. And then you're up having to bodge stuff everywhere, and that's not fun. So we'll give that side some time to cool off, because ow, it's burning the crap out of me. And then we've got another one of these plastic connectors here, which that one we won't be using anyway because that's for your video. We're going to be bypassing that and going direct to your video port. This one is a composite video screen, so we're going to be tapping into composite video and sync. This one's got a big thick ground plane on it. This is your power side. Come on. There we go. Now it's coming loose. Trying to. There we go. I need to move up. Sorry, I'm trying to read the chat. Yeah, I would like to record stuff, but just editing is... I'd rather just put the raw footage. I don't like editing at all. Tots, unless you want to edit, then... that is definitely my least favorite part of it. And I know you've got probably about as much time as I do, so. $10 hours, that's weak. Weak. I do 12 for 7, bud. But I also get a week off afterwards. By the way, Tots are... Himiko is one of the admins for my Rust server we've run for a long time. Before we were on stream, we looking at a couple things, trying to set up some plugins that we were using. Did I burn something? It smells plasticky. Doesn't look like it. It may have just been the plastic on the bottom of the cap. These are almost all gone. Then we get to start replacing, or clean up the pads, and then we'll replace them. These big caps do not like coming off. There we go. Take a little bit extra ass behind them. Yes, you do, Tots. At least you don't have to play with electricity all day long. But yeah, I'll be going back on night shift again starting Friday, so that's gonna be fun. So we've got 5, 6, 7 more to go. We are getting close. I have a feeling this video, hopefully if the music isn't loud enough, then Twitch won't copyright it, but past couple streams I've done on Facebook and all that just get dinged for copyright. Apparently they don't like it when you use other people's music. Come on. Ground plane's coming. There we go. This one's... Ow, 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 ow. This one's going to be tricky. I was working on some Sega Saturns earlier for a local store around here that I do work for. Those things, I do not have fun doing CD systems. Ugh, 15 years. Ugh. Like 15 night shift, constant night shift. I do a rotation. So usually it's every 5 on shifts, so it ends up being every 10 weeks. Because I do 7 days, 12 hours, 1 week on, 1 week off. So that's how I actually have time to do this. But they're also talking about changing our shifts. They're talking about going to 410s or something like that, which I am really not too keen on. I've gotten used to this, but they are talking about doing away with night shift, which is good and bad. Alright, this is the last surface mount on this board. Then I can turn this thing off and you won't have to listen to it for a while. Here we go. That's all the surface mounts. On this board, there's, like I said, there's 4 on the other one. Roll this up while we wait. Oh, okay, so you did week on, week off as well. Yeah, I love that shift. But yep, there she is naked. These two are going to come off once my desoldering gun heats up. And in the meantime, I'll start cleaning these pads up. I didn't think I was going to do the face cam, but I'm kind of liking having that one up there. Oh shoot, I am running out of solder wick. Let's wake up my iron. Get all the old solder off these pads. Or as Voltar would say, solder. Yeah, I'm still in. Yep, that's mainly what I work with, and my real job is high voltage. Anything from the substation to the wall outlet. Our plant I work in, we bring in 138 kV and have 100,000 horsepower motors. And making stuff all day long. There we go. But yeah, we'll get these pads up. Oh, that's so much better. I can hear. I know this is the most thrilling part, is the cleaning. My soldering gun is just about at temperature, so we'll pop these other ones off here in just a minute and then finish cleaning these pads up. This part is definitely important, getting all that old solder off of there, especially if you've had some that have leaked. You definitely want to get that nasty stuff off of there. And you also have to be careful you don't dwell on these. Hold your soldering iron on there too long, because you will burn those pads off of there. Alright, so that's at temperature. Let's go ahead and get these. Where is it? Okay, put these in a tight spot. Let's do this. Add a little bit of solder and make my life a little bit easier. What is that? Yeah, normally they don't cut the legs on these that short, but they sure did with this one. So that is my coil. It's really odd because they, like I said, they don't usually cut these legs that short. Really weird. little solder to remove a little solder. Okay, got it. Definitely got that. And then yeah, they cut these like super duper short. Very unusual for Sega. Oh, it's watching the solder wick up like that is like ASMR almost. And I just desoldered the wrong thing. Yep, that was the shield for power switch. So put a little bit more back on that guy and get the right ones this time. Like I said, it's very odd that Sega cut them this short. Most of the ones I've seen them do. Goodbye, camera. Hello, camera. I don't know why it does that. It's got a custom firmware on my camera so I can leave it on and use it as a webcam. Yeah, sorry, I was reading your chat. I go back and forth with a face cam. Most of the time I just want to focus on the work, but plus where my desk is, I'm off to the side. My camera's usually up on my computer, which is on the other side of the room. But I finally found a way to get it sitting over by my printer and kind of overlook my desk a little bit better. And there we go. That one was actually leaking. All green and nasty. Luckily it didn't. Yeah, it did leak on the board a little bit. You can see. Let me zoom in. Wait, you see how it's kind of crusty looking around there? These two holes here are where your capacitor was, but you can see where it's come up and kind of got things kind of funky over here. Now I need an autofocus camera, but you can see how it kind of turned that a little darker down here on this side on your negative. So if that would have been left unchecked, that would have been bad. Alright, so now one thing you want to do for that, any kind of leaky caps or anything like that, just regular white vinegar is what you want to use to neutralize the electrolyte in them. They're the same thing as it. They use the same basic principle as a battery. They use electrolyte to store your charge, and when it leaks, it corrodes everything. But I'll just get a little bit in there, clean the area a little bit. Luckily, like I said, this one was not bad at all. It had just started somewhat recently, it looks like. And then clean up the area down here. Once we do that, come back with a little isopropyl alcohol. get it all nice and clean again. And this stuff, you usually want to let it sit on there because it is acidic. So you want to let it sit there and kind of stew on it, I guess. Yeah, let me see if I can find it. It's hard to see on the capacitor. Let me see if I can get my camera to zoom in on it. But you can see how that leg's discolored, how green and nasty that is. That's electrolyte that's leaking out. See this one, your power cap has, find a good spot. It has a little bit, but it's not that bad. Most of that is actually old solder, but it tends to be these negative legs on these Nomads. But it has leaked a little bit, but not enough to cause any kind of issues really. I have to do my camera manually for everything. But we'll go into our pack and start pulling caps out. And these are all your contacts for your controllers. You have to be really careful with these on this because they are carbon and not gold trace like most, or like a lot of boards. This carbon, these are actually really good shape, but yeah, that carbon is easy to knock off of there. And once you do that, you're pretty much SOL. This is 202. Oh, I need to get some alcohol and clean the rest of that off. But yeah, you usually want to give it like 5-10 minutes, let that stuff sit on there. Eat that stuff away. You can tell it's really bad, like especially on a battery contact. When you put vinegar on there, it starts bubbling and getting nasty. And some of this is old flux too. And then when I go to put it back together, I'll clean up all your button contacts and all that. Yeah, that does not look too bad at all. That could have been a lot worse had it stayed. Yeah, that cleaned up real well. It's hard to see with the shadow, but it's definitely cleaner than it was. You have to make sure and get all that crud out of there. Let me see. Very lightly get in there and give it a scrape with the tweezers. Make sure to get any of that stuff loose. Yeah, there's a big old chunk of nastiness that came out of there. Sorry, I'm having to do this off camera because I need to see where I'm at. I do not recommend doing this unless you... I just don't recommend doing that. Honestly, it probably wouldn't hurt to change out your controller port, but I mean your power port, I think it's okay. We'll hit this with a little bit more alcohol. Make sure that goes all the way through. Yeah, that definitely looks a lot better than it did. But yeah, you want to make sure you get all that stuff out of there, because if not, it'll, even if you neutralize it, it'll still sit in there and continue to just eat that stuff up, that copper in your traces. because on most boards like this, anything under this green is actually all copper. It's just got that green solder mask on top. And when we go to put our capacitors in, that's a 100 micro 25 volt. You want to make sure you get your polarities lined up. You've got your stripe here, that's going to be your negative side. On your board, you've got a little plus right here, so this is going to be your positive side. Your positive side always has your longest leg. Billy! What's up, Billy? Make sure you pour all the Coca-Cola on it, which actually would clean it. Might do a little bit extra if you might get a little bit nasty, but yeah, we already got all the caps off the main board. I got a nice little pile of them sitting over here. So now we're gonna attach this, do a couple more things, and then we'll pull up the spec sheet and start reattaching caps. Let these dwell a little bit and soak in there. And also, when you have cap leakage like that, it's really hard to get anything to stick, like nothing will stick to it, so you have to make sure and get it really clean or that solder will not stick at all, and you'll just have a nightmare trying to get it in and out of there. Trim them legs. Now you can actually see where the capacitor was. Luckily, Console 5 packages pretty much every single cap you'll need. Yeah, they left those legs like ridiculously short. I didn't even know those were capacitors were on the other side of the board. And then here, again, you've got your long lead. Which side? There it is. It's hard to see, but luckily Sega's usually pretty good about labeling. Get this in there. Bend these legs out a little bit. Get down in there. There we go. I usually try to get these on the Nomad as flush as possible, or else you might have a hard time getting it to close back up. Shabby. I have a handful of Sega games, but I usually just use my EverDrive for everything. I don't really have the room for cartridges, nor do I really want to collect them. I mean, I have some that I keep, but most of the time I just want to play it, so just give me an EverDrive or a flash cart, and I'm a happy camper. So there's those two caps back on, then we can finish cleaning all this old solder off. Alright. Need a bigger tip for this, really. But I use this one for just about everything. Yeah, let's cut this end off. That has some old solder in it. Does not want to melt. driver. Yeah, I put an LCD driver in mine. That thing looks awesome. That nice RGB screen. Let's see if I can get it to focus. And my favorite game. But yeah, it's like a huge difference compared to the original. It was really loud. Best Sega game, hands down. Review camera, yeah, that's the TFT. That one's a little bit cheaper. That's the one that's going in here. They still put out a really good picture. Like, it's honestly the difference between the LCD driver and that one isn't really, I don't know if it's worth the price difference or not, honestly. Dumb question, but why not? This actually has flux in it, so most of the time you don't need to. Like, your wick has, or this wick that I've been using has solder in, or flux built into it, so it usually just melts everything right off. I'm gonna add more flux when I go to put the new caps on. Almost being difficult. Just use the same. Oh yeah, my solder's rosin core, so it's got its flux built in. My wick has flux built in, so I generally don't have to blob it. Like, I've got tons of it, but this stuff really doesn't need it. Now, if it is being difficult, then yeah, I'll use a little more flux, but generally this stuff wicks up pretty well. Plus, I don't like to clean. But yeah, this usually gets most of everything off, no problem, so I don't have to get too crazy with the flux. I would. They've all seen my work anyway. I don't shut up about it, so. Sure, half the people are probably like, oh my god, I don't care. But it's something different other than people trying to sell stuff in the group. So shiny. It's also why I like leaded solder. Everything turns out shiny and clean when you do it right. And it's easier to work with. The no lead solder usually on your newer systems takes a lot of heat, and it's just not fun. Oh, Billy, I saw you got your Outrun cab finished. Well, for the most part. Dude, that thing's awesome. That one was Turbo Outrun, right? computer screeching. I think her and her friend are playing Roblox. Not playing Rust? Nope, no Rust. Yeah, I'd like to. I want to get a candy cab at some point, but I just don't have the room as much as I would love one. So I'll stick with just my RGB Trinitron back there that I modded, and then maybe get a PVM. But I would love to have a cab. Like, they just, you can't beat that playing, especially like games like that, like Outrun, where you're playing with a wheel and all that good stuff. Has this Smarty Pie? Oh, sweet. I'd like to build a Mister. Like, I've got my Mister that doesn't get a whole lot of use, so I'd like to do a Mistercade. Come on. And this one might actually, oh, there it goes. Ah, that's burning my fingers. Oh, I love mine, man. They've got the N64 core working now for the most part. I mean, it's still a work in progress, but I've been playing like Mario 64. As much as I don't like Nintendo 64, it's cool to see it running on something other than a Nintendo 64. That dude's just been putting out updates left and right. I mean, if you add a bunch of accessories and stuff, honestly, I would wait till they release the Mars board that's supposed to be coming out soon. That's going to be running the Mr. Project. So it's going to be a more powerful FPGA, and I think it might actually be cheaper. But I would look into Mars. What else left? Yeah, I run my Mister on a computer monitor, and I can run it on that TV back there. Use a you get an analog board for it, and it can do 15 kilohertz. And then just whatever your cable of choice. I use SCART. Like, I've got a Otaku SCART switch down in the cabinet for my TV there, and this one's stuck. This is why you need to use a bigger tip for stuff like this. Alright. I know, right? It's the story of my life. See, little flux in it. Came right off. But that's what I was talking about earlier with the flux thing. Some of them are just difficult, so. More flux. Give me all the flux. Sometimes this is just not enough. I need to clean my tip too now. It's all funky. That's the thing with using a lot of flux, is all the impurities come out and they stick to your tip. Stick to your tip. This is some chiptunes radio on Spotify. Let me pull it up real quick. But yeah, that's your that's the station. Yeah, I love this. I could sit here and listen to this all day. What game is that? I've got my MVS on pick and play, so it's like a track mode. Let's get this last pad. But yeah, I'll be bringing. You're going to Arcade Expo, huh, Billy? Sweet. Yeah, I'll have this Neo Geo behind me up for free play all weekend. I need to find a second joystick at some point, but one will have to do. I've got a Neo Bluetooth that I can use, but I also don't want my controllers to go walking, or that controller to go walking. Get a little alcohol, clean up all this flux and nastiness on the board. And then it'll be ready for new caps. Yeah, there's a lot of nasty stuff coming up. No, 99%. You want the highest concentration of stuff you can get, because the lower percentage alcohol, like anything below 99 really is, it has too much water in it, and it ends up causing problems and leaves residue. So you always want to go with as high percentage of alcohol you can get. Yes, absolutely. That is good for anything. I wouldn't mind some right now myself. Like you can see all the old flux that comes up with it. It's getting nasty quick. Some of these caps are gonna be a nightmare. I know it's super exciting to watch me clean flux. But it's all part of the process. Alright, Billy. I'll holler at you later on. Have a good one, man. So nasty. But so clean now. And this one we really don't have to change. I don't think they gave us, I don't think they include that one as part of the kit anyway. Clean up some of this residue. There's certain spots that just look kind of yuck. But see, instead of attaching down here on the underside where we were going to do all our video stuff, they're all going to connect to certain pins up here on your video out. And then we'll pull power from a couple of test pads over here. Okay, so that looks good. Alright, let's zoom out. Now I need to pull up my cap sheet over here. Hang on. Oh Jesus, it's 9:45 already. I have to go get me a drink to pick my ass up. Let's start. Where do we want to start here? Let's start with these little ones. Get these old ones out of the way first. Sometimes I go through and cut them off, these old caps, if they're being difficult, but I would rather not put that stress on the board if I don't have to. Oh, now I've got to remember the codes for these because some of them are different voltages. This is 2210. 47.6, 10 volt 16, 4.7. First one I'm looking for is 223 and 224. 224. Let's get that 223 first. Is a 47 microfarad, 6 volt. 47.6. Come on. Then they ship some of them loose, which is annoying sometimes. Add a little bit of solder here to hold my cap down while I do this. That was going to go this way. This is going to be the tedious part. 223. So always check and then double check and then recheck. Interstellar? I don't think I've seen it. I'm horrible about watching movies. Okay, I need my headlamp for this because too many shadows. Where did I put it? Now I get to look like a goober for a while. This thing is a godsend. Through holes are so much easier to work with, but I've actually come to start liking these. And you've got to get them just right. And this board is uneven, so it's kind of a that did not stick. Alright, so that one did. Trying to do this on camera at the same time. So that one's good. They're nice. 224 is a 4.735 volt. Oh, they're really tiny guys. A little bit on there to help hold it. Sorry, I'm trying to do this on camera, but some of these are just not easy to work with. It should be a little better. think I'm looking at it. Yep. Perfect. 2 caps down, 600,000, 245 more to go. Yeah, feet, no. I don't touch feet. No thanks. She can work that shit out on her own. 225. 4.735. Luckily, Amber feels the same way I do. Feet are no. Which one was I on? There we go. And that was another 47, so let's double check. 225, 4.735 per. There's so many things on this board that are just in the way. So I'm trying to get everything lined up just right so I don't burn something. Looks good. And 226 is a 1035, which I'm assuming it's 47. That's a 1016. 10 CHB. That should be it. Or 2210S. Let me look up the color codes. Where is my phone? I used to know these. I've done a bunch of them and then now I can't remember what they are. SMD capacitor codes. I need to know. There we go. So those are 22s. I don't need those. 10 C HB. These are weird. This is so weird. I've got a C and an H. It's 4 point. Son of a bitch. 226. Dude, this headlamp is clutch. Why? They usually send a card with them, and I think I might have thrown it away. CHB. What's the rating? $35.50. I think that's what I need. I feel like an idiot right now. It's been so long since I've had to do this. Those are 116 volts, 47.6 volt, 47.6 volt, 1035. There it is. That was 226. 35 volt. Okay. Crisis averted. My brain. Why are you not sticking? Like a crazy what? Pretty much. 226 is 1035 volt. Okay. I'll have to clean that one up. It's kind of funky looking. Solder keeps wanting to stick to the other side of the tip instead of where I want it. Oh, that's stuck. Perfect. There we go. That was a thing. Alright, so we are going to move on to CE212 10 6-volt. Was it 1016? It's 116, never mind. This is no, I just want to go back. That's what I wanted. Okay. That's what I needed. These are 1016, which is CE212. Not working off camera again. Gonna go this direction. I'm gonna have to flip it around because now I'm gonna have to do it left-handed otherwise. Jeez. It's riveting, I know. A non-stop thrill ride. Almost put that cap on backwards. Don't do that. Unless it goes pop. Alright, that one looks good. 47.6. Another one of these. Thank God I've got this music or I'd go nuts. That was 215. Double check is 47.6. Perfect. Yeah, you bastard. Let go. Nice and clean. Alright, we're somewhat there, I guess. CE213 is so 47.6. Cold as well. Clean that up. Much better. It's killing my back. CE228. Is 4.735. Forget this one, I almost have to come straight down because of this connector here. Get on there. That's good. Now to do this without melting the connector. Clean this up. Lovely. $227. Is it 4.7 as well? Did I put 4.7? 228 is 4.7. This is close. Hopefully this is milliamps. 4.735. Double check. 224 is 4.735. 225 4.735. 228 4.735. 227 4.735. Perfect. Always like to double and triple check just in case. I don't want to have to redo these. And if you don't double check and you get a 4.7 and a 47 mixed up, you might have a problem. Something won't work, or it'll just act weird. Oh, bye camera. Bye camera. I don't know why it does that. Maybe it just wants to keep you in suspense. Oh no, what happened? It's just cold. There we go. These take so much time, and I should definitely start charge. I should definitely charge more to do these, honestly. Oh God. CE210 is 1016. Nine, 10, and 11. 9, 10. Huh? Sixteen, 16. 226 already done. Two, 212. This is 6 volts. 1035. Okay, I'm good. So these are all the same cap. That should be the last of the 10s. Nine, 10, and 11. Yeah. Good. That one's good. always like to pre-tin these one pad so you can take the capacitor, reheat that pad afterwards, and just slide the capacitor right into place. And basically you've got a way to tack it on there, and makes life a lot easier coming back and trying to solder the other side of your capacitor. One, two, three. Get off that plastic. That should be fine. I always want to let these dwell a little longer so that solder soaks up under the capacitor and sticks to the pad just a little bit better. Alright. So those three are nice and clean. Holy shit, 10:21. Give me just a second. I'm gonna go downstairs and get myself a drink, and I will be back in just a minute. Go get me a little bit of caffeine. Why don't you send some of that my way? Since it's already this late, I may do the screen part tomorrow and just finish up all my caps tonight. This is going a little longer than I was expecting. It's been a while since I've had to do Nomad. We can make a two-parter out of it. It's already... It's been 2 hours already, jeez. Feels like it's been longer, honestly. But... okay, be difficult. There we go. This this is when it starts getting tight in this part here. There's not a lot of room once you start getting these capacitors on. So we are going to go CE220 47.6. I have not touched these yet. Come on, there we go. The screen part shouldn't take super long. CE220, just to double check, is 47.6. Okay. But this is, like I said, stuff starts getting real tight up in these quarters here. Get on there. Did not leave much room up there on the positive side. Let's scoot it back just a hair if we can. Get it back, get it back. Much better. Look at my cam's holding up pretty well. Usually it shakes to shit. Let's get a little closer. Oh, that's about as close as I can get. Hey, hey! What's going on? It's getting tight up in here. Is that? Yes. That's why I don't have my headlight on. I was like, why can't I see? What's up, Mercury? Just sitting here slinging some solder. Oh, that is a huge difference. Now I can actually see what I'm working on. I may look like a goofy bastard, but damn it, I can see. $216. That is going to be 106 volt. Or 116 volt if there's a lot of 47 sixes. Okay. Oh, my phone's angry. Oh, someone was talking about the video I posted up in HRG in the Houston Retro Gamers group. They did oh, hey, Adrian. I figured that was you. I just wasn't sure. Yeah, we're working on a Nomad recap. But, what I was saying, I posted a video earlier on they found a document from Sega back in 1997 that basically showed sort of the state of the company and how bad things had gotten for Sega at that, or Sega of America at that point. That one is rough, but it was a really good video. It was about an hour long. Am I still on? There we go. I like the guy that does it, Pandemonium Reviews. He does reviews a lot of Sega games and stuff like that, and does some really good long form documentaries. And yeah, it was just interesting to see like how bad off Sega was at that point. It was really good though. If you saw that post, definitely, if you got about an hour to spare, I definitely recommend watching that video. It is definitely well worth the watch. Zoom out just a bit here. Alright. 18, 19 should be the same. 21, 22, and 29 are all the same. Okay. These are gonna be boogery. Especially since my solder wants to jump over to the other side of the iron every single time. Yeah, it's definitely a really good video. Like if you know the Sega Saturn Shiro guys, they do Hello Reef.
Hola.
My daughter has decided to come and say hi. You getting ready for bed?
Mm-hmm. What you working on, Nomad?
Yep. Got my stream going still, so only been 2 hours.
2 hours.
Let me double check this. 47.6 CE 218 47.6. Yep. But yeah, that video was kind of shocking, honestly. I didn't think they were that bad off in 97, but yeah, they were in really bad shape. So how was your game, child?
It was fine.
What were y'all playing?
Spooky games.
Roblox?
Yeah. Spooky games on Roblox.
Cool.
Do you know what's up with them, Nomad?
Nothing. It needs a new screen, and I'm putting new capacitors in. It's actually for one of the guys in the Houston group. I've had this one for a while.
And you just haven't given it back yet or fixed it?
We had stuff come up, so it took a little while longer than it had been planned, but it's all good.
Yeah. Coca-Cola, go and get it.
That's actually his Game Gear as well. Finished that one up the other night. I'm waiting for the screen to come in for that one.
Is the screen, that's all what's wrong with this?
Have you seen Gaming Historian? Oh yeah, I love Gaming Historian. That's Norm, isn't it? What are you doing?
Looking at chat.
Oh. Yeah, it's like all the way across the room, so it's kind of hard to read. I have to like 180 my neck to be able to see it. 221, 47, 222, 47, 229. It's 47.
You know what? You should just pull up chat on your phone and set it.
I know, but I don't want my phone to die. I'm weird.
Plug it in.
No, I need to just put like a monitor up there where my camera's at so I can look at it.
And not break your neck trying to see it?
Well, so I don't have to like turn away, and it's mildly annoying, but get on there. And one more. Yeah, shoot, just let me know. As long as it's not CD-based systems. Depending on what it is, I'll mess with them. It's more repairing CD-based systems that are not cool, or any Nintendo handheld with a hinge.
Oh, you can see the
I don't like messing with those.
this in the background.
Oh,
What's
my
it called?
Neo Geo.
No, the screen.
The TV.
The trim.
Trinitron.
Yeah, the trimatron.
That's just a TV.
I know.
Just a regular old TV. That's what we used to have. That's what all our TVs used to be.
The static. Feel it from here.
Yep.
I have accidentally touched the screen of that once and it scared me.
I remember the first time I turned that on and you were in here. You about jumped out of your skin.
Why?
Because it was loud. It's dong when it kicks on
yeah.
from the transformer kicking on.
Yeah.
Or the degaussing coil.
Can I show my little frog?
Yeah.
Let me grab him.
She made me a little frog for my keep him on my toolbox.
Wait.
Camera. Sorry. The camera's over here.
Oh, I thought it was that one on your PC.
No.
Froggy boy.
That's my froggy boy.
I need to go put him back in his little perch.
He gets nervous.
Yeah, with my aggressive handshake. Stay.
Come on.
Old school pregnant TV.
What?
No. That red letter. I probably read that wrong.
No, you read it right. Beats. What noise device? Oh, best, yeah. I would agree that 15 kilohertz hum.
It's amazing.
A pink PS2 Slim won't read disc yet. You'll need a new drive, most likely. I really don't like messing with.
I want to touch the screen, but I know what's going to happen.
Nice warm glow of those TVs. Oh yes, it's nice and warm in here from it. Got a Pokemon and Metal Gear GameCube.
Ooh, Pokemon?
HDMI mod. Honestly, for HDMI, I mean, yeah, I can, but they have plug-in dongles depending on which version you have. I'll have to look at them. I forget what HDMI mods are out there. I know they've got like plug-and-play devices for the ones with digital ports. So if it's got a digital port, you might go that route, and then you've got it both ways. But I could definitely throw a Pico boot in there while I'm at it.
I have just a random question. What is your favorite system to work on?
Favorite system to work on?
Because you've worked on a ton of Game Gears.
I love Game Gear. I really do. My favorite one, honestly, I think my favorite one might be my Neo Geo. I mean, it was more modifying an arcade board and consoleizing it, but
Still
on like regular, like the repairs and stuff I do, I'll take a Game Gear all day, every day.
one of the easier ones to do.
It's not even that. I mean, that's part of it, but I know the system really well, and they're just fun to work on. Like, I've done so many of them.
Wasn't it one of your first handhelds that you did?
Uh-huh. Actually, there's one of them down there.
Oh yeah, I thought this was the first one.
No.
Or this was like the second or third.
Here, I'm trying to read.
Oh no, I'm moving out the way.
Favorite was my Oh yeah, Neo Geo, absolutely. Actually, you got that Neo Geo from Greg, didn't you, Adrian? The AES? I think the XD has one. Yeah, that one was actually easy to work on. It was luckily it's because it had that Japanese power supply, so it was hitting it with too much voltage on the VCC rail. But yeah, that was the first time I'd ever messed with an AES. Sorry, I'm trying to work on screen and I keep moving the stuff off screen. So y'all yell at me if I do that. But you need to go get ready for bed. Thank you, kiddo.
Wait, what are all these? That's my last question.
What is what? Those are Sega Saturns for Greg.
Oh, I thought Sega Saturn was...
I have my own Sega Saturn.
But I thought yours was like what?
That's the Dreamcast.
Oh!
That's the one that came after that one.
Oh, right.
Alright, have a good one, Adrian. That's the Dreamcast right there.
Yeah, that's what I was looking at. I thought that was it.
But,
Your black GameCube.
yes.
Weren't GameCubes supposed to be purple?
Some of them were. It just depends. They had different colors.
Screwdriver. Oh.
That's a drill.
Drug. Same.
No, they're two different things.
They both screw and unscrew. One's just electrical.
Obvious joke is obvious. Go get ready for bed.
I don't want to be in here anymore.
Go get ready for bed, you little shithead.
Please.
Hey. Come here. I'm gonna be working on this, so I don't want to stop in the middle of this again. Good night, Stinky.
Good night.
Mwah.
Bye bye.
Good night.
Good night. Adios.
Alright. CE204. Have a black Game Gear. Thinking about doing a clear shell. If it's a factory black one, I can replace caps on it. If it needs a new screen, maybe SOL. That's probably going to be a VA5, and they have replacement screens for them, but they're kind of iffy on if they work with them. There's no schematics released for those, so it's pretty limited information as to what's on there. I know Ben Vin makes one. I've done them on the VA4, and I've never got it to work with a VA4. I've had two of them, and neither of them have played nice with the screens. Those were Majesco bought a lot of Sega's stock and did a lot of price reduction measures on them, and so they're not the best. Why is this not sticking? They have a lower color count and some Game Gear Sega Master System compatibility is not there. I mean, they're fine. Honestly, I can't really tell the difference between the screen. The screens look a little warmer in color, but there's not a huge difference between them. They're just hit and miss on screen replacements. I could only play on power supply and sound wasn't working. Yeah, that's typical capacitors. If the screen still works, then you should be okay. And I do have a clear Game Gear shell. My buddy kept saying he wanted me to do his girlfriend's, and he never got back with me, but that one's kind of first come first serve, so if not, I can order another one. They don't take long to get here. $204 was it 47.6? Okay. $217 is a 22.6. Why did they send so many 116s? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. One, oh, okay. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Alright. Yep. That's 2216. We're getting there. Got a handful more to go, and I'm starting to go cross-eyed. It happens every time I do these. I love working on them though. They're just such a cool little system you don't see very often. So now 205, 208, 207, and 203. Let's start with 203 is 106. What throws me off sometimes is he sends the guy that runs console 5 sends higher voltage rated ones sometimes, and it throws me off a little bit because I get looking for the correct voltage, but I'm like, where are these? Oh yeah, like you can use a higher voltage rated capacitor. What is going on here? You can use a higher voltage rated capacitor. You just have to make sure your capacitance is correct. I love Amiga music. That had one of the coolest sound chips for that era. Very being difficult. I need a little more heat for this. 325. That ground plane is huge on this side of the board, so it just soaks it up. Trying to get this cap to go down a little bit. I mean, it's attached, but it's just kind of floating a little bit higher. It may just have to stay that way because I don't want to pull it back off. Now, let's see how much of this video is muted in the morning. Hopefully I've got the volume low enough to where Twitch's thing doesn't automatically pick up on it. Oh yeah, they're both jacked right now. But luckily with this camera in my face, it forces me to kind of sit back a little bit. Usually I kind of hover over my work like this, but this kind of forces me to sit back a little bit, so it's not as bad. I just don't like being this far away. It makes it a little more difficult to see, which is why I've got to use the headlamp. And then that one, and we'll just do a little ground plane too. Okay. In the home stretch, boys. CE 205 47.6. And like I said earlier, I'm probably gonna try and do the Master System mod on this. If I can find my wire that's small enough. That way if you do get an EverDrive, you should be able to load Master System games onto the EverDrive and play it on your Nomad. That one I really have to get close to it, so I'm probably not going to be doing that on camera. Just because it's so... You're doing these super tiny pins on one of the ASIC chips. And it takes a lot of concentration to get on there. Make sure you get that lined up just right on that chip, or you're going to be in for a big old mess and a lot of pain trying to get it all cleaned up. Ask me how I know. I may have done it before. It was not cool. There we go. Now she's sitting. Let me check something just to make myself feel better. Make sure I didn't blob it out and make it touch. Good, no short. Perfect. All right, CE 208 is a 116. So, let's get this one on without burning plastic here. Oh, that's mint. 207. That was 208. 207 is a 116 as well. Knock them both out, alright? Oh, get back in place. Sweet. Sorry if you can hear this cable that keeps hitting the mic. It's just my soldering iron cable is like, this one's tight. It's like sitting right where my mic is at, so it bumps into it. Good. That looks great. Oh yeah. Oh, that's nice there, bud. One more capacitor, which is CE. Is that 206? Yeah. 206 is a 22. My last 22. Bye bye. Hello. Why do I only have 3 capacitors left? I feel like I should have more. Whatever. Two, 6. And usually want to hold it in place a little bit for a second or two, let that solder dry up or solidify. Ladies and germs, that is one fully recapped Sega Nomad board. I know, right? What is this? Zeta Force? Oh, okay, yeah. Oh, man. Now we've got one more board to go. That was the hard one. So now we gotta crack this bad boy open. Like I said, screen will be tomorrow. It's just too late. Where is my screwdriver? I think this Nomad is the last of the hanging fruit right now. I've got all the Saturns done for Greg, and then probably should have pulled this shield off earlier, but I don't like having all these loose screws hanging around, because that's when I end up losing stuff. Why don't you want to come out? Does this sit on the shield? No. this is the cart slot assembly. Oh, it does hold it. Ah, this song's great. C64 version of R-Type. I love anything Sid chip. Really anything Commodore, just love. What'd you say? I can't do that. Don't remind me of the ham. Although I do miss the chaos until he went all autistic on us. He was always good for a laugh. Then he just became annoying. Oh, by the way, the code name for the Sega Nomad, if you did not know, was the Venus. Sega liked to name all of their systems after celestial bodies. The 32X, well, at least most of their systems, 32X was Mars. There was Pluto, which was the 32X Sega Saturn hybrid system thing with a hard drive. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Why do I feel like I'm short of capacitor here? But yeah, this is the ASIC chip. It is pin 55. I want to say, is it 55? Or is it 155? Yeah, I think it's 155 that you have to solder a teeny tiny wire to. And then run it over. I've got 1, 2, 3, 47, 47, 100. Where 47, 47, 47, 100. Why am I short one? There's something I must have kicked off to the side somewhere. Unless he just cut the strip wrong, which, I mean, is a possibility, but usually he does not do that. I'm almost certain I have another one somewhere. Fuck. Oh, nice. You don't see the boxes very often. Yeah, I'm short one. Give me a second. Let me grab my toolbox. Not really a toolbox, but my box of wonders. I know I've got to have that somewhere. Which one is this? That is links, never mind. 47 4-volt. That's not gonna work, is it? Throw that out. I may have knocked one on the floor, I guess. I don't know. Where are my SMDs? It's 116. Got a lot of ceramics. I think that was a 220. Of course, it's sitting right behind. Yeah, 226 volts. 47.4. 4.7 radials. Those are 10, 50, 30. Damn it. 10, 10. I have a 4710 in a radial, which I mean that'll do. It's just odd to lay it on its side. Yeah, I may just have to use that one. That's unfortunate. I mean, I could just leave one of those caps on there. It's not gonna hurt. But we'll put a freshie on there. 4710. I can take it and lay it on its side. I think we'll be okay. Nomad in the box, not bad at all. That's unfortunate. Luckily, my little box of tricks comes in handy again. I'll have to double check all my. Ow! Make sure I didn't drop it. Yeah, I guess I came up short on one. I guess he cut the strip too short. Let me 47, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'll go over the rest of this tonight before I go to bed, but we've got to stand by if we need it. Let's get these other ones off. Try and do it without killing anything. This one's gonna be a little bastard. Let go. That one did not want to come off my tweezers. This little guy is going to make me nervous because I don't want to melt that plastic. But it is going to be tough. Time to YOLO. Bring the heat down a little. I'll bring the speed down a little bit on that one. Sucked. Did round the corner on that little plastic, but nothing crazy. That is hot. Do like we did on the other ones, clean those pads off. Let me tell you how much fun this one is to solder back on. Since it's a 47, I will probably use the radial cap on there. Just make life easy. Alright, all four of those are clean. That is a hot board. Excuse me. Clean everything up. Then we'll put on new capacitors. So much quieter in here when that thing shuts off finally. I'm still aggravated I'm short a capacitor. 2 and 3. This guy will go on there just for now. Oh, that's a bad position for this too. May have to use a SMD on that. Put this guy here. I really don't like using radio caps for stuff like this, but it is a common practice. They actually sell a non-SMD kit. The pumpkins. Yes. Or you've got the Hamburglar shop. I forgot who set that one up. I think it was Faded. We're gonna go full Game Gear on this bad boy. Yeah, that should be good and out of the way. I really don't like doing that though. Let me check my schematics here. 47, 47, 47. And CE3 is okay. Perfect. That's a big old cap. Not the prettiest, but she'll do. And it's a new cap. Party.
What? I think my remote's broke.
should be asleep by now, so just turn the TV off and we'll deal with it in the morning.
No, I mean like, if I try to turn the TV on and won't turn.
Well, it's fine. You need to go to bed anyway, so we'll deal with it in the morning. Good night. CE3 was the 100, okay. Why are you being difficult? Let's tack that backside down, and then we'll push that cap down the rest of the way. Oh my god, this solder is being annoying. There. Alright, so those are good. Now for the nightmare one. I'm going to ask the class to look away when I go to attach the positive side of that cap. What is up with the ground plane on this side? Is super buggy. Give me as much room as I can get up front there. Alright class, everybody look away, because I'm probably going to burn one at the top of these EMI filters. Don't look. Don't look. This one is always super tricky to get to, especially with the camera dangling overhead. You bastard. Nailed it. Did minimal burning of anything, so we're good. Caught the corner of this, but that's okay. Let's clean up this last bit and we'll be done with this recap, gentlemen. There we go. She's done. Okay. And we're back. That is one fully recapped Sega Nomad. 2 hours later. Yeah, I'm tapping out myself too, so yeah, dude, no problem. I love doing this stuff. So tomorrow evening I'll probably either tomorrow evening or tomorrow during the day I'll probably do the screen. Get the stupid headlamp off.